what percentage of housewives have no job and no kids? The answer is 10%.
Thank you very much. You're watching Britain's brightest daytime show with Anton Dubek and Diamond and special guest Ben Fogle. This is his new book, by the way. It's Antarctic Adventures. Just gone into the top 10. 4 days in the shops.
So excited.
Still to come, do silicone boobs make you feel a bit queasy? Am I gay if I don't like them? I ask myself this question on a daily basis. Really? About silicone boobs. 0207 173 5555. That's the number to dial if you've got something to say. But first, our stay-at-home wives and partners with no children, no job, lazy. When personal trainer come part-time model Carly Zucker, that's a great combination, personal trainer, part-time model. Carly Zucker married Chelsea footballer Joe Cole last weekend. She declared she had no plans to work. I'm off at projects all the time, she said, but I don't feel I need to prove anything or that I need a career to feel good about myself. Her new husband's worth £20 million, so I think it's fair to say that she won't starve. But Carly might still die of boredom. The girls who work behind the scenes on this show think she's crazy. You need a job, they shrieked. It's good for your sense of self-worth, identity and independence. And psychologists agree, saying human beings have a need to keep busy. And yet something like 1 in 10 housewives don't have any children to occupy them, and by definition, housewives don't work. Can day after day spent watching daytime telly, a bit of ironing, and maybe lunch, and maybe tennis with the hunky coach down the road, can that leave you feeling fulfilled? Yes. What about money, Kirsty? Would you be happy relying on handouts from your husband, being totally reliant on his goodwill?
I fear there's another yes from...
Well, about two-thirds of posters on askamum.co.uk said yes, they would. They'd love the freedom no kids and no job would give them. They'd grow their own fruit and veg. Make sure their partners were happy. And so on. They reckon critics are simply jealous of those who have such a carefree lifestyle. So, is a housewife with no kids essentially lazy, or Anne, very, very lucky?
Lucky. Oh, what I wouldn't give. It would be fantastic. And I
must have had
I'd
times.
garden.
There must have had times where you could choose to do nothing. There must have been periods in your life.
I tell you, well, one of the greatest times was... don't tell anybody, but, you know, pregnancy leave is brilliant. I had maternity leave at one point, and I had 2 or 3 months where I felt good and I wasn't too pregnant to, you know, be walking wounded, and it was just wonderful.
Do you think it was wonderful because it was just that little
contrast? Yeah. Exactly. And the way I feel at the moment, what I wouldn't give to be a kept woman, it would be fantastic, as long as the keeping was right. And I didn't have to ask for money. I had my own bank account, which he paid into, you know, so there are all sorts of provisos. So I think, basically, yeah, no, it's only girls who've worked
Can you be
envy that, but frankly, it would be
free, independent, post-feminist woman and be reliant on your husband's financial goodwill?
No, I don't think so. I think it would be awful. The very idea of asking a man for money. I just, you know, doing what my mother's generation did was you had to ask your husband for the money to do this, the money to do that, and the money to buy your own stockings and shoes and whatever.
Stockings? I never saw any stockings when I was married.
No, I'm talking about a generation ago, darling. But, you know, the thought of having to ask a man for money, I just couldn't bear. And 2 or 3 months of doing nothing would be glorious, but I think after that you would look around for things to do. And there are things to do. You don't need it. I think she's right, you don't need a career to feel good about yourself. But, I mean, you can do good... I mean, women of money used to do good work.
That's right.
You know, and
Still
there are
do.
wonderful...
Still do,
yes,
to be fair.
There are wonderful voluntary jobs you can do. Also, I mean, really high-powered stuff, too. So just because she's a wag doesn't mean she needs to be brainless on this one. She could actually devote herself to something really worthwhile.
I can hear the girls in the office going... Do you think it's just jealousy, Ben?
Yes, that is.
Personally, I can't imagine not having something to keep myself occupied and busy. We were talking earlier about retirement, for example. I can't actually even imagine retiring, partly because I'm very lucky that my hobby as such is my job. Yeah. So I imagine I'll just keep going. You must remember that there is the flip side. We're just talking about kind of kept women as such, but there's the other side. Isn't Britney Spears' ex-husband, Kevin Federline, isn't he? Yeah. He effectively is being subsidised by her, and he's effectively become a husband.
Sorry, DJ Kevin Federline.
Oh, DJ, sorry, DJ Kevin Federline. Oh, so maybe he does work, so I don't know. I don't know if it's jealousy. I think the grass is always greener. I think you look at people who aren't doing things and think, wow, imagine I could finally get the gardening done, I could take the dogs out, I could do all these things. But when you get around to it, do you actually do all that stuff? I know the few days when I don't, my least efficient days are when I've got nothing to do. And I just potter around and waste the day and it disappears. Whereas actually, if you keep yourself busy, you can be far more efficient.
Being beholden to somebody else for money?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I would sit here and go, wouldn't it be brilliant? I wouldn't have to work hard. But having said that, I think there is self-worth about working for yourself, earning your own money. And I think, personally, I wouldn't like to be a kept man. Well, I don't know. Maybe I would.
What about you, Anton? Do you fancy the idea?
Well, I don't think so. Not really. No, I don't. Actually, I don't think so at all. Actually, for me, you've got to stimulate yourself, your mind. There's always this quest for sort of self-improvement. Even just the case of
it's human nature.
Something wanting to do something. You don't evolve otherwise. I mean, I think you just sort of. I don't know, you'd just die from the inside out, really, wouldn't you? I mean, your brain would shut down and it would be dreadful. That's the bit that I can't comprehend. It's just you shutting down.
If you were to do nothing, it would be dreadful. But, you know, if you have a nice house, and I imagine she lives in a nice house, and you've got, you know, maybe a tennis court, and you've got dogs to look after, and I can't imagine she's going to spend all day cleaning, I have to say. I'd imagine there's a lady or two who does.
But there's no goal there, is there? There's no sort of goal. I think human nature requires sort of a self-requirement.
You need a reason to get out of bed, don't you?
I thought she also complained about that before she did.
That's women for you, don't know what they want.
But I thought she said that she had too much money and too many decisions and a home she couldn't keep clean. I thought that's. I could be wrong. I thought she said that when she was on I'm a Celebrity.
Money can be a burden. Yeah, that's why I got stressed. I had a massive house I couldn't control or clean. It took all day. So there you are.
OK. What do we think? Housewives, no kids, no job, lazy. Let's find out what you have to say. Kirsty, it's your dream, isn't it?
It is, but the thing is, I think, for me, like, I hardly ever see my boyfriend because he works nights in the theatre and I do this in the morning. So just to spend quality time and go travelling and, you know, to have the option to be able to work when you want to, you know, for the mental stimulation or whatever, then that appeals to me. I
bet it does, but that's going to appeal to everybody, isn't it? Anything other than,
I mean, shopping and holidays and, it's just jealousy. Lorraine's online too.
Morning, Lorraine.
Good morning, Matthew. Morning, everyone.
Morning. Housewife?
Yeah.
Kids?
No.
Job?
No.
Lazy?
Job.
Are you lazy?
Definitely not.
OK.
I do all those really unglamorous, thankless tasks like all the DIY and decorating and gardening and looking after the cars and the shopping, bank accounts, tax returns.
I managed to do all that and hold down a job, Lorraine.
Sorry?
I do all that and have a job.
Well, do you do some of that in your work time?
No, I have a job and then I go home and I do the cleaning, the cooking, the tidying. What else do I have to do? The laundry.
Work for an hour a morning.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. We just arrive and it all happens. I mean, you know, that's what most people with jobs do, all of the stuff that you do.
Well, perhaps, but then it means when my husband comes home, we can have, you know, a lovely quality time together. But it also means that I can squeeze in quite a lot of voluntary work that other people don't have the time or inclination.
OK, that's good. Do you ever, I mean, do you feel happy sort of living...
Do you have to ask him for money?
There we go.
Woman?
As a cat woman, yeah.
Do you have to ask him for money?
Because actually I think my husband really values everything that I do to keep the household running.
You're a team?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But nitty-gritty...
Good old-fashioned household.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Lorraine, nitty-gritty. I mean, if you want a new handbag or a new outfit, do you have to ask him for the money?
Absolutely not, no.
So he pays into your account? You have an account?
We have joint accounts.
And you use it when you want?
Yeah.
You should see the girls. You see the girls in the audience saying, "Oh yeah, we'll have some of that." Lorraine, thank you very much. I appreciate the call. Let's have another, please, Kirsty.
Jane's on line 1, Matthew.
Jane, good morning.
Hello.
Hi there. So what do we think? Are you a housewife?
I am. I do have children, but they are based at school. I agree with everything the last caller said. We do the most mundane tasks, the bed changing, the things that you just know you have to do, and believe me...
I'll say again, Jane. I say again, Jane. I do that.
Yes,
OK?
I
cook, I clean, I do the bedding.
Your husband and your children, and doing things for yourself is very different, I think, than having to do stuff for
Jane, you have children. for me, having children and looking after children is equally important as having any kind of job you like, whether it's the biggest job in the world or the least important job in the world. It's a major important job.
Yeah.
If you didn't have kids, then I would say that both myself and my girlfriend, we both have jobs. She works later than me. I get in earlier. I am the house husband who does the cooking, the cleaning, the bed changing and everything else. I can fit it into my day and have a job and occasionally get out and have something to eat as well.
It's true. I do get the odd time. I do get the odd day when I can go and do a bit of shopping, go and see a friend. But I feel those times for me, that rare afternoon, is to save my sanity, quite literally.
OK, what if you didn't have kids? Would you want to have a job then, or would you be happy just...
No, I would want to have a job. Yes, I would.
Right. So the part really is, this discussion is aimed at people that don't have kids, that are housewives, and you would say that's not acceptable?
I don't think it's not acceptable. I think as Anne was saying, she would want to do, so I think Anne was saying she wanted to do something for her mind, but
yeah.
I don't think it's unacceptable if you're happy in what you're doing, but personally I would have to have something going on.
OK. All right, Jane, thank you. Kirsty?
Carol's on line 3.
Carol, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew. I've never wanted to ring into a show before, though.
Excellent.
I do watch yours. I'm really
Fresh meat.
I gave up work 11 years ago when I moved to Norwich, and my husband is very generous and said, well, I've always wanted to do voluntary work. Hey, go and do it. So for 11 years, I've been supporting victims of crime, very serious crimes. Takes up quite a bit of my time. Lucky enough to get a civic award, so I was appreciated, which was nice. And I think, goodness, you can fill your time. You know, I'm in a good financial position. My husband gives me an allowance every month. I can do what I like with it. But I just can't see why you should be so against.
I'm not against.
I think I fill my time.
I just talking about the girls back. I was talking about the girls
back.
back.
My mum died on Sunday, but hey, I used to do her washing for her, and I can always help somebody.
I was just saying about
I have lunch with my friends. I play badminton. I play
probably haven't been a while since you had a chat with someone, that's for sure. Now, Carol, I'm just saying the girls in the office are the ones that are saying they had a problem with Carly Zucker, who just wants to, well, doesn't seem to have anything to do at the moment, and they're sort of saying.
Can I just say, it could be that maybe her relationship with, is it Joe Cole?
Joe Cole, yeah.
Maybe that is important as well. I think a lot of the problem is people don't spend enough time together, talking to each other, doing things together.
I also think if you give some of that free time to doing voluntary charitable work like you do, that's work. I mean, that's amazing. I don't think any of us would disagree with that. I take my hat off for people that do that.
But I also think Carol's got a point in that you do have to spend time investing in your relationship. And housewives are able to do that, perhaps, because they've got that bit of extra time. And I do think that maybe the reason we've got a very high divorce rate is because you've got two independent people who haven't got enough time to invest in each other.
I think you could equally make the case, I could personally, that having a relationship with someone who doesn't work and who has nothing else to do, and watching the effect it has on them as they slowly lose their identity, you could argue that that can be damaging too. I think it's just, you know...
It's about balance, I suppose.
As Ben said, you know, Carol is out there, she's doing voluntary work, she is working. Thank you for the call, Carol. Let's go to our audience.
OK, next to me is Bonnet. So are you lazy if you're a housewife and have no kids?
Not necessarily, but for your own self-respect and self-esteem, you need to be doing something with your day.
By something, do you want to be... I mean, if I was to say cooking, cleaning and occasionally going out for lunch, is that enough? Or does it need to be voluntary work, something that takes you out?
Well, I've been unemployed for the last 3 months through kind of no fault of my own, and I'm now looking into... Yes, I'm now looking into voluntary work because I've done the cooking, the cleaning, the seeing friends, the going to job interviews, they're going to the gym, but now I want to do work and I want to get stimulated.
Having gone from the working situation into the non-working situation, admittedly not by choice, could you foresee a time where you'd feel quite comfortable just cooking, cleaning and hanging out at home?
No, I don't think I ever want to be a housewife who just hangs about at home. But in the 3 months, I've got to say I haven't been that bored because I've actually managed to fill my days quite easy because there is actually a lot to do. From going to the gym, from cooking to cleaning. I've had friends who have just had babies to go and see those. So I haven't actually been sitting around on my laurels, but there are days when I can't get out of bed because I just don't feel motivated enough. So I think for your own self-worth, you need to do something, be it voluntary work, be it go to the gym, be it looking after yourself. You need to keep stimulated.
You've been here twice, haven't you?
Yes, OK. That's when I got desperate.
OK, we've got to go take a break, I believe. Thank you for that, by the way, Bonnet. After the ads, we're asking if silicone boobs make you feel ill. Am I laying my sexual identity on the line here? Don't laugh, Anton. I just don't like them. They're beyond ugly. I think they're monstrous. And I'm not just talking about Katie Price's pair of bangers. I just find the concept of stuffing 2 sacks of silicone into your body to give you a lift, either physically or mentally, completely twisted. I really do. But what about your girls? It's your body, after all. 0207 173 5555. That's the number for your thoughts. Do silicone boobs make you sick? We'll find out after the break.
What percentage of men find fake breasts a turn on? 15, 45 or 75%? Find out after the ads.